testosterone and tendon injuries. All about it. So yeah, share it with us.
Yeah, so it's an interesting topic, and I actually have a literature review that's currently pending publication. Hopefully, by the time this video is up, that might be available for the put it in the links maybe. But it's an interesting topic, and it's actually I would say it's a topic where so much of what the data comes from the anabolic steroid use category, where we do see a lot more tendon injuries, and that gets extrapolated and pulled and applied onto the testosterone replacement therapy category. So what we know is, and we know this maybe to a degree mechanistically, but also from various data points and a retrospective analysis of patients who have been on high dose androgens, various anabolic steroids, and so on, is that the prolonged high dose use obviously makes the muscle stronger. The tendons can't quite keep up, that we know. But secondarily, a good analogy is that particular level of use can essentially make the tendon soft tissues almost like cold spaghetti, where it can break easily. And I think that's probably the best way to kind of look at that. And that's why, for example, in my sport of powerlifting, I do tested powerlifting, and in the untested powerlifting world, we do see a fair occasional bit where pectoral tendon injuries and biceps tendon injuries occur during bench press, deadlifts, and so on. We don't often see that as often on the tested side. But again, we have to be careful here, because we don't want to extrapolate and pull from the category of anabolic steroid use and apply that onto TRT. And we see that with heart disease and other things as well, heart failure and all these things. You're sort of borrowing data that doesn't really apply. Somebody using 7 compounds at high doses, you can't apply that to and extrapolate and pull that onto TRT. So I think that we have to be careful within the just TRT world itself. There's maybe a weak signal that we see. It's certainly like in the very marginal categories in terms of us truly seeing tendon injuries occur among TRT use. And there's been conflicting data as well, where one group you look at, there wasn't an increase in prevalence, and another group you look at, there was a very marginal increase in prevalence in certain tendon injuries. But the key part is that because the magnitude is so small, it was challenging to tell if this is coming from one group having a higher activity level. Maybe they're working out a lot more compared to the other group, for example. And you run into that issue when you're looking at the data, because if you get a little bit like a tiny increase in something, sometimes that can be explained by the patient's behavior patterns, right? Obviously, if someone's working out 5 times a week, lifting heavy, compared to somebody who's not lifting heavy at all, the risk of tendon injury naturally is going to be a little bit higher in that group. And then also the muscles are getting stronger than tendons, obviously, we know, are not keeping up. So I don't think the evidence is conclusive at all to say that appropriate TRT is going to directly weaken attendance. But at the same time, we do know that heavy duty anabolic steroid use does weaken attendance. So I think it's a divergence of categories, and like many other things, we have to be careful not to mix the two categories together. And that applies to so many things we talked about, like I mentioned, heart disease and other things as well.